Hi everyone, Rick from Easy Photo. Wanted to take a few minutes and answer a question that we get about adjusting the color, the brightness, and how that all works when you're using something other than the Kodak Picture Saver scanning software. Well, the news is for you that with the Smart Touch tool that comes with your Kodak Picture Saver Scanner, you have a fantastic avenue for making those adjustments. I'm going to share with you a little bit of how to do that. I'm going to work off of our flatbed settings today, although you can apply them when you're doing your photo scanning as well with the Picture Saver Scanner. Let's get started. So we're using our Twain interface and we're using the Smart Touch capabilities. You'll find that down in your taskbar. Just merely select the scanner and you have a number of choices between 1 and 9 to choose from. We've already set up the flatbed scanner. I'm going to show you how that works by just going highlighting it here and configuring it, and we'll show you that we've set up our flatbed scanner. And in our flatbed scanner you have a couple of choices when going through the setup. First is when we select the settings, we can go through and select scan as, document type, media type, resolution, JPEG. You can choose JPEG or none. None will put it out into an uncompressed TIFF. We can use the highest level of quality, which is superior when using JPEG. That's our recommendation. You can go ahead and do the automatic detect and straighten. You can also scan the entire document. You can remove that border. That border is designed not to remove a lot of the image, but to just square it up, because as photographs were processed and then printed on a machine, that knife didn't always cut exactly straight, and that's all that will do. There's also the ability to rotate with scanning. After the scanning's been done, we'll let you play with that on your own, and we can go to adjust. And here we can go and adjust our brightness and our contrast and select none and none for no adjustments whatsoever. We're not going to sharpen either nor add background smoothing. We're going to enhance the image, and we're going to go ahead and hit detect. All right, so those are our basic settings. That's what we basically would scan with. When we come back to home, you can see we've not changed anything. Had we changed something, like for instance, come in here and let's say we change the paper type to plain paper, you would notice that there's a change. You can hit the save button and that will save that. We don't want that to be the case in this point, so we'll just return it back to the way it was. So we're good to go. We're back to home. Everything's set. And we're just going to say, okay. Now, if you'll remember, we go ahead and when we launch that, it will go ahead and scan your setting. That is also set as number 4 on your scanner. So you have the opportunity to just dial up the number 4 on your LED, press the green button, and it will do the same thing, launching the settings now that they've already been preset. And what you'll get once we render the image is an 8x10, no brightness and contrast, no image color adjustments, just boom, we're all set. Now I've already saved this. I've already done this a couple of times already in preparation for this, so I'm not going to save this image at this point, and I am going to go ahead and discard it. But what I am going to do is I'm going to come in here and share with you the fact that because we've already set this up, all we would need to do is go to our machine and hit the 4 LED and go. But if you're going to adjust color, you want to make one change in the setup as you go through, and that is to offer the opportunity to display your settings prior to scanning. And then that way you can make some final changes if you would like. We've done that now. We've clicked on it. We've got all the images going to the folder we want. We've got the name on them. We're going to click OK. And this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn around. My photo scanner is right behind me, and I'm going to click the number 4 and hit the go button. And now that I've done that, it again will launch, but this time it pulls up my options, and instead of using that setting that we had done before, let's make some changes. And what we would want to do is let's go in here to the adjust area here, and let's go to manual. Let's get totally free-flowing with the images and what we can do with them. So now you can see we can adjust the brightness, the contrast, the different channels of color, whether they be the red, the green, or the blue. But you go, well, Rick, how much do we need to change? That's the beauty of this system. What you can do is you can place one image in, and you could do this on your automatic document feeding unit as well, but you'd only want to place one picture in. And you can hit the preview button. When you do that, it's going to execute a scan, a preview scan, so that you can make some adjustments and to find out just how much of an adjustment we need to make, if any. And so it's going to go through the scanning process, and then it will lay an image once it's rendered into our preview screen. When we do that, our dialog box will pop away, and we're just going to go ahead and enlarge it to the full screen so we can take a look. Now we can actually make adjustments. As you make these adjustments up and down from either plus or minuses, your image will change and it will be rendered in the state that it would be outputted if you had select those settings. So let's say, for instance, we wanted to move up 10 points in the red. There's a lot of red there to do that. And let's move 10 points up in the blue. And we can do that. And then let's turn up the brightness 10 points. And we'll go up 10 points in the brightness. Okay. So this is what the image... let me get out of this right here and click over to this area. And so this is what the image would look like if you had made those adjustments. The way to do that now at this point is we've got these adjustments. We could scan using those settings if we chose. Okay. Now, to make those settings, we would want to come back to home. You've noticed that we've changed some things. We could save them. All right. And then we could say, okay, and it will go ahead and scan using those settings. And that would be whether you're using batch, and it would save all of them with that setting, or you can use a fixed setting and do it on your flatbed as well. So we're going to go ahead and let that scan. And when that comes up, we're going to do one other thing. Obviously, this is going to be adjusted to your eye. I would always encourage you to consider a monitor of your monitor to use to measure the output of your device, your output device that you're looking at, and to calibrate it. So there's a number of different ones available out there. There's our photograph right there. Of course, we can then save it and we can move on. So let's do this. We're not going to save this one. We're going to do one other thing. There's another feature that we have available. So I'm just going to go ahead and reach over here and hit my scan button. And that feature is an automatic feature. So instead of doing the settings manually, we're going to go ahead and just come down here to settings. And when we do that, we're going to move them to automatic. Now what's going to happen is the system, the first scan we didn't apply any brightness, contrast, color balance, or sharpening. What we did was we used the actual photograph that was printed onto the media. The second option was to make adjustments, and you can fine-tune that, get down to exactly what you're looking for. And because you've digitized the image and it's being held into a cache memory, you can make those changes to kind of see where you're at to make those adjustments. And then, assuming you got a batch of pictures that all look the same, you could scan them that way, or you can use automatic. This works very similar to applying the Smart Touch to all features. Again, once we've done that, we just want to slip over to home. You'll notice that we've changed again. We're going to go ahead and hit save, and we're going to say okay. We're going to pass up the preview function. At this point, it'll launch out and start scanning. It will go ahead and render the image, and when we're done with that, we'll take a comparison look at the two of them based on the monitor that we have here for this presentation. So we've gone ahead and scanned the image. It's going to display up here, and at this point we have the image again. So how do these all look in comparison to one another? Well, I always encourage you, we've already saved these in preparation. I always encourage you to take a look at the images side by side. We've done that, so we've got both one with auto, one with none, and you can make other adjustments as you wanted to. And perhaps the best way to do that is just to pull these images up side by side here and take a look at them and see that the none, just a little bit less vibrant. The one with automatic pulls it up, and of course then we could go through all the various reds and the greens and the blues and make any kind of adjustments that we wanted to, as well as our contrast and brightness using the manual settings. So hopefully you have gained a little bit more insight into how much power you have with the Smart Touch feature and adjusting color, and how to do that both with not doing anything to it, adjusting it automatically, or adjusting it by a specific channel. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us here at Easy Photos. We are available. We have chat. We're offline right now because we're doing this, but you can chat with us Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 Eastern Standard Time online. In addition to that, we have our email at info@easyphotoscan.com. And then finally, feel free to reach out to us by phone. Happy scanning.